Yes.
Alright, you make sure you start your timer.
I got it.
And it counts down. It's probably
Alright, count to 9 time.
I am cool with it counting up.
Alright.
I've had them my
And I'm pretty
entire
sure
life.
it's recording.
Okay.
Watch my mad time management skills, right?
It better only be a P&G contentions.
Alright, as the government in today's round, we are here to support the resolution that we should stop ignoring the elephant in the room. Now, first of all, I'd like to present some basis for our interpretation before I get into our actual plan and our case and our contentions. So first of all, basically, what is an elephant in the room? An elephant is something in a situation, first of all, we have to be in a room, right? So it's not just the world is ignoring this problem. That cannot be an elephant in the room. So it has to be actual room happening here. We have to have actual parties in the room. So for example, if we're negotiating with Israel or we're trying to come up with a Middle East peace process and we totally ignore a huge factor such as Iran and how they factor into that, that would be ignoring the elephant in that room, right? Alright, so the next thing is it cannot be. What is an elephant in the room not? It is not a problem that the entire country might just happen to be ignoring, such as say, oh, we haven't closed off our borders, we haven't fixed immigration yet. That's an elephant in the room of the United States. The United States is not a room. I'm just out of protected time, whatever.
Is this a metaphor resolution?
I guess.
Alright,
Yes.
thanks.
Alright. Alright, so basically if you're in a room and there's a group of people at your house having a party or whatever, and you totally ignore the fact that two of those people just broke up yesterday and it's really awkward, that is an elephant in the room that you're ignoring. So basically, to stop ignoring, you have to start acknowledging. Alright? That does not mean that you have to provide a solution. That does not mean that you have to fix the problem. That just means you have to start acknowledging the thing that you're ignoring. Okay, so in this round we would contend that we should stop ignoring the elephant in the room that the United States is not a free market. We're pretending we're a free market, but we're not a free market in the United States, and I'll tell you why in my first contention. The United States is not a free market. Point one. Government healthcare. This is a huge goal of our government right now. They're trying to solve this problem. They've spent all of their time in the past few congressional sessions on trying to find a government method for healthcare. They're trying to provide for universal healthcare for United States citizens. This is a goal that is completely contradictory to everything the free market stands for. So that is one reason that we are not a free market. Secondly, the fact that we have hypocritical trade barriers. And what I mean by that is not just the general system of preferences or tariffs, but we also have things called free trade agreements that are not that at all. And here's a couple examples. For instance, NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, is not a free trade agreement at all. Why? Because it still allows for the protection of certain American interests. For example, the steel industry is protected under NAFTA. So it's not complete free trade. It's a hypocritical policy. It's not a free market. Yes.
Is it not the role of the federal government to protect the interests and well-being of the citizens, as per the Constitution?
We'll debate it. That's a pretty good role, but there's other roles of the government as well. And what we're saying is that we should not say we're one thing and then not be it. The elephant in the room is that we are not a free market right now, and that's what we're trying to prove. The second example under trade barriers is that of the AGOA, or the African Growth and Opportunity Act. In this act, we presented free trade as an option for many African countries in sub-Saharan Africa. However, we require them to meet standards of Western government and free markets before trading with them. So this is a hypocritical policy as well. Let's see, number 3. Subsidies. Our government pays farmers not to grow. That is so anti-free market. That is so terrible, and it harms competition, it harms prices, it harms the farmers that are growing the food, it harms everything about our agricultural industry. We're paying farmers not to grow, we're subsidizing certain crops over other crops, trying to control the prices, price controls, the milk we have, like, our government buys a whole lot of milk every year and then it wastes in a facility just so that we can regulate prices in the agricultural industry. Alright, number 4, welfare. We have welfare, we have food stamps. Basically, this is just simply socialist in that it redistributes wealth from the rich to the poor. It essentially pays people not to work for a longer time than is necessary. If we were to totally allow free markets, it would most likely solve the problem in its own, and we could allow non-governmental organizations to provide for people's needs. Alright, number 5 is financial regulations. The government has controlled our interest rates, they've controlled the way that businesses interact, they've controlled way too much in financial regulations. They tax our tax system is completely discriminatory against people who excel, who are wealthy. It discriminates against them because of the tax brackets. And sixthly, interstate commerce regulations. I mean, we can expand on this more later, but for one thing, the government has taken the interstate commerce clause from the Constitution way out of proportion, way out of context, and regulated things they don't need to, such as guns.
Point of information.
Yes.
Can you list one pure free market economy?
Pure free market economy?
Hong Kong.
We'll go with Hong Kong. Singapore, New Zealand's pretty good.
Singapore has no trade barriers.
I gotta look it up, but I'm sure we're talking about in theory. This is a metaphor resolution. Alright, let's go down to contention 2. Alright, stop ignoring it. That's contention 2, stop ignoring it. Point A, we are ignoring it right now. Clearly, this is evident when you look at Congress and what they're doing right now. Conservatives and liberals alike fail equally on this. They are all trying to pass policies that are pretty much not free market.
Point of
Alright,
information.
sure.
Isn't the point of the Tea Party movement to reject government regulations?
The Tea Party movement?
Is to limit
Since
the
when are
effect
they
of government.
when are they controlling our government?
Is it not true that underdog Tea Party candidates have overturned established non-Tea Party candidates? Example, Rand Paul.
Let's debate this out, because I think Tea Party is just as bad as everyone else. Alright, let's go down. The first point under this, under contention 2.1, is that of Bush. And Bush, basically, all of his policies that got passed under his presidency, it's speaking free market, except they increased spending more than any other president. He increased debt dramatically. He increased social programs. He made our schools more regulated instead of less regulated. With the No Child Left Behind. He did not lift tariffs. He kept in place trade agreements such as NAFTA. He did not have free markets with AGOA. All of these policies were continued, and TARP was his idea. Going number 2, Obama. Obama has this healthcare thing. This has been his huge thing. He is completely promoting socialist and not free market ideals. This is why, clearly in the presidency of the past few years, we can see that we are ignoring the fact that we are supposedly a free market economy when all we can pass are policies that are blatantly contradictory. Alright, let's go down to point B under this, and that is that we need to acknowledge it. And the simple fact is, we are a member of NATO, and one of the rules for being a member of NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is that you have a free market economy. If they were to ever call us out on this, the implications would be drastic. We could be kicked out of NATO. That would lead us to, basically Russia's winning the bipolar world.
Point of
all this,
information.
yes.
Are any of the other countries in
Protected time. I'm sorry. Whatever. Okay. I forgot about that. All right. Anyway, NATO. All right. So basically, it would be really disastrous if we got kicked out of NATO. And if they were to take a look objectively at the policies that we have in place right now, they would have to kick us out. That's what we're contending. All right, going down, basically, the final point I'd like to make in the last 30 seconds of my speech is that of consistency in foreign policy. What we're doing right now is being completely inconsistent. We go and we say free trade, where goods cross borders, ideas cross borders, and we don't go to war with countries we trade with, all these things, and yet at the same time, we force people to agree with our ideals in order for us to trade with them. That's so contradictory to what we're trying to promote with our rhetoric in trade policy. So this is why we believe we've got to stop ignoring the elephant in the room. If we're going to say we're a free market, we need to act on it. We need to make some major reforms to our policies. And what we need to do is acknowledge the fact that we're not a free market and stop with the contradictory rhetoric.